America's president, Donald J. Trump. Folks, we're gonna have it handled in 21 days. 21 days.
Well, he said that I spent time on Jeffrey Epstein's island. I didn't. I mean, he's a lightweight, this guy. He's a terrible, I think he's terrible. I thought he did a terrible job at the Grammys. I thought the whole Grammys was terrible. I watched part of it.
Song of the Year. Congratulations, Billie Eilish. Wow. That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland, which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a... Oh my God.
Wow! So amazing!
Picture a late-night set where the laughs feel heavier than legal paperwork, where Trevor Noah steps into the spotlight with his humor sharpened like a precision tool and points it straight at Donald Trump's newest headline. You're left wondering if this is comedy, group therapy, or some kind of political jujitsu, as the jokes make you laugh, wince, and lean forward all at once, each line landing with deliberate accuracy. And just when you think you know where it's going, one unexpected clip flips the whole mood on its head, turning a roast into something much bigger. So stay with it, because this ride doesn't end the way you expect.
Not here. She is not here. She is still at the White House with Donald Trump discussing very important issues. Actually, Nikki, I have the...
Before the story races ahead, hit that like button and subscribe, because you already know this is one you don't want to miss, as Trevor Noah doesn't ease into things with polite chuckles or careful wording, but dives in with razor-edged humor forged from years of watching Donald Trump treat reality like a suggestion rather than a rule.
What are we doing for Guy Fawkes Day? And then your parents will be like, do you want these ones? You're like, do you like them? They're like, no, just throw them on the ground. I was like, pat, pat, pat. Do you feel like the other kids? No, I don't at all. So Iran has those ones, and then they're launching back and forth, back and forth, back. And the whole world was like, man, this again, Middle East conflict, Middle East. And then at the peak of it, everyone was like, man, how could this get worse? Donald Trump was like, hello.
There's no slow warm-up here at all, because Trevor jumps straight into the deep end, casually pointing out that Trump often carries himself not like a former president, but like someone who accidentally wandered onto the world stage while still thinking the cameras were rolling for a reality show.
Did you ever have Trump on the show?
No, we never did.
He did say some bad things about you on...
I don't know. I don't keep up with it.
Yeah, I do. I keep up with it. Yeah,
but you have like a feud with him. You have like a real... So here's what I've noticed. Like, Trump's annoyance at people is directly proportional to how big they were when he like focused on the media. Does that make sense?
I see, yeah, right.
So like Time Magazine is still the biggest thing in his life. And then obviously Jimmy Kimmel, SNL, if they insult him, he gets really angry about it.
Yeah.
I'm so new to him that he's just like...
Without pausing for breath, Trevor paints Trump as a man convinced that being louder automatically makes him white, as if raising his voice high enough could somehow turn disorder into leadership through sheer volume alone.
Came in and he was like, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna totally de-escalate this situation. I'm gonna de-escalate this situation. And we were like, my man, you've never de-escalated a thing in your life. In your life. From your hair to your politics, nothing is a de-escalation. Nothing. But Trump came in and he's like, I don't like how Iran and Israel are launching bombs at each other all the time. So many bombs.
He cracks that Trump sounds like a malfunctioning megaphone fueled by pure ego, blasting half-formed ideas into the air and daring anyone to object without instantly becoming an enemy. And every comparison lands smoothly because Trevor delivers them calmly, never rushed, which somehow makes them hit harder. He pokes fun at Trump's idea of leadership, saying it resembles hosting an outrageously expensive and dangerously improvised show where nobody has the script, yet Trump insists it's flawless. Trevor suggests Trump never truly wanted to govern a nation at all. He just wanted a bigger crowd, brighter spotlights, and louder applause than he'd ever had before. When discussing Trump's confidence, Trevor frames it as something brittle, coated in gold, impressive from a distance, but cracking the moment real pressure shows up. explaining that Trump behaves like someone who can't survive 5 minutes without praise, while loudly pretending he couldn't care less what anyone thinks.
How are you doing since you left the show? Are you experiencing feelings of depression, anxiety, hopelessness? Is it?
You know what? I'm good. I miss the vibe. You know, like days like today. Obviously, you know, you watch Trump at a rally and he's dancing for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
I miss that.
You miss that, yeah.
Yeah, because that's just free content. That's like one of those things where you go like, wow. Well, but for the most part, no. I'm traveling more. I'm enjoying being on the road. I get time to write books, try other things.
From there, Trevor shifts to Trump's relationship with truth, describing it less as a value and more as a creative pastime, saying Trump treats facts like flexible notes he can rewrite whenever they become inconvenient, bending reality to fit whatever sounds best in the moment. He compares watching Trump debate to watching someone try to win chess by flipping the board, shouting checkmate, and walking away convinced of their brilliance. Trevor explains that Trump doesn't care what he wins, only that he can declare victory and demand credit. Then lightly touches on Trump's love-hate affair with the media, portraying it as a dramatic dance where Trump claims to despise attention while secretly craving it more than anything, joking that Trump would complain even if every headline praised him non-stop.
Hey, too many bombs, we gotta stop it, no more bombs, we gotta stop it, we gotta fix it. And they're like, all right, how are you gonna fix it? He's like, by dropping bombs. I'm gonna drop bombs. And no one expected it. Like the whole world was like, okay, Trump is gonna mediate, or because he said to them, hey guys, let's sort this out, peace deal. We're gonna do a peace deal. And then he dropped bombs on Iran. And everyone in the world was like, what the hell?
As the roast digs deeper, Trevor turns to Trump's worldview, saying he treats global politics like a high school popularity contest instead of serious diplomacy, describing him at international meetings as that awkward relative who ignores basic rules, yet still believes he's the most important person in the room. Trevor loops back to personality, suggesting that beneath all the noise sits a deep fear of being forgotten, that Trump is terrified of silence, invisibility, and ever stepping out of the spotlight. The humor sharpens again when Trevor mentions accountability, letting the audience laugh while also recognizing uncomfortable truths, and he grows briefly reflective, noting that Trump isn't just one individual, but a symbol of how spectacle can replace substance in modern politics, while making it clear that Trump chose chaos every step of the way.
America's president, oh, he was even cockier. Yeah, you see him when he came out, Donald J. Trump? Oh, he had all the swag. He was like, folks, we're gonna have it handled. In 21 days, the virus will be gone. 21 days. Some are even saying 20.
Trevor then drifts into how Trump treats expertise, describing it as a mild inconvenience rather than something essential for running a country, painting a picture of a man who trusts his gut more than scientists, economists, generals, or anyone who spent decades actually learning how the world works. He explains that Trump seems to believe that if he feels something strongly enough, reality will politely rearrange itself to agree, which is charming for a child and terrifying for a president. Trevor stretches the idea further by comparing Trump to someone who walks into a hospital, ignores every doctor, and insists he's perfectly healthy because he once watched a medical show on TV, letting the laughter fade just long enough for the audience to feel how absurd, yet accurate, it sounds. He suggests Trump didn't distrust experts because he had better ideas, but because he treated them like enemies instead of pillars of governance, then roasts how even the smallest disagreement felt like a declaration of war to him.
A lot of people in my life were like, oh man, I can't believe that Trump did this, I can't believe, and they were so stressed. And I was like, yes, but look on the bright side. And they were like, what bright side? I was like, on the bright side, Trump also can't believe that he did this. Like that's the one glimmer of hope that I get from Donald Trump, is that like he also doesn't know what he's doing. He's in it with us, which is a nice change. Oftentimes we're at the mercy of those in power, but he's in the mercy with us. Like we're all locked in.
Trevor explains that Trump never really debated anyone. He fought them, using insults, accusations, and dramatic outrage instead of ideas, joking that Trump couldn't accept being wrong even about the weather without turning it into a personal feud with the sky. He dives into Trump's relationship with mistakes, calling it a masterclass in denial, painting a picture of someone tripping over his own shoelaces and blaming the floor for sabotage. The humor stays sharp, but Trevor lets the deeper message settle, that real leadership requires accountability, suggesting that in Trump's world, loyalty mattered more than truth, and applause mattered more than reality. He expands this into a wider commentary on how Trump reshaped political culture, making shouting seem stronger than reasoning and outrage more valuable than solutions, explaining that many people didn't just follow Trump, they performed for him, competing in loyalty like contestants on a twisted game show.
Every time Donald Trump answers a question, you know he doesn't know the answer because he answers it like he's a contestant in one of his own beauty pageants. That's how he answers it. Every time you see Donald Trump on TV, you can see he's making it up as he's going along. They'll be like, Mr. President, can you tell us about your healthcare rollout and how pre-existing conditions are going to be covered?
I know. We're gonna have so much coverage, folks. The best coverage, all the coverage. I'm gonna get it, all of it. It's gonna be so good, great. Some people even say.
Trevor then circles back to Trump himself, calling him a master showman who understood television far better than policy, describing how Trump turned every press conference into an episode, every decision into a cliffhanger, and every controversy into must-see drama. He makes it clear that while this was entertaining, it was disastrous for actual governance, joking that when faced with serious problems, Trump responded like someone Googling answers in real time, while pretending he already knew everything. The laughs carry an edge as Trevor shifts into Trump's obsession with legacy, saying Trump seemed more focused on how history would remember him than on what he was actually doing in office, constantly chasing headlines, monuments, and praise, even if it meant ignoring issues affecting millions.
He's accused of lying about the value of his properties for decades to defraud the banks into giving him better loans, right? And these are not small amounts. They're not small amounts. For instance, Mar-a-Lago was worth $75 million. And what did Trump say it was worth? $740 million. How?
Because I upgraded it, folks. Yeah. Totally upgraded. I added a rec room. It's got a foosball table and everything.
He plays with the idea of what Trump's legacy might truly be, suggesting it won't be measured by achievements, but by the chaos left behind, imagining future historians struggling to explain an era that felt more like parody than reality. The roast becomes more personal as Trevor speculates about what drives Trump internally, suggesting that beneath the bravado lies a fear of being ordinary, explaining that Trump can't simply exist, he has to dominate every room, every conversation, every headline. Trevor frames this not as strength, but as insecurity disguised as power, then contrasts it with genuine leadership, sharpening the humor as he describes Trump treating elections like a game he only accepted if he won, joking that Trump seemed to believe democratic rules were flexible guidelines designed just for him, while letting the serious implication about the threat to democratic institutions hang in the air.
The Trump Organization has been found guilty of 17 counts of tax fraud and other financial crimes. And you know what that means? Donald Trump is going to prison to visit all the lower-ranking people who did this without his knowledge or his permission. Yeah, because we all know that's how that works in the world, right? All the successes in Trump's organization, they're due to the genius of Donald Trump.
Just when it feels like things might settle, Trevor widens the lens again, talking about how Trump changed the tone of politics itself, explaining that insults replaced arguments, drama replaced dialogue, and division became a deliberate strategy. He suggests that even Trump's critics were forced to respond louder and angrier because subtlety stopped working, circling back to the audience and acknowledging how exhausted many people felt during the constant chaos of the Trump era. Trevor notes that even those who enjoyed mocking Trump probably felt relief when the non-stop circus slowed. But he doesn't soften the point, reminding everyone that Trump's influence didn't vanish when he left office, and that the attitudes he normalized continue to shape political conversations.
He also claimed that his 11,000 square foot apartment was actually 30,000 square feet, which was a lie. So this man is going to be the first person to ever get in legal trouble for claiming his apartment is a grower, not a shower. And I've got to say, it would be so funny if this is what takes Trump down, huh? Can you imagine? He tried to overthrow the government, but then they get him for lying about having an in-unit washer-dryer. It's like, that's the thing that locks him up.
As the chaos builds towards its peak, Trevor imagines Trump somewhere watching it all. Arms folded, jaw tight, pretending he doesn't care while secretly hanging on every word, joking that Trump would dismiss the roast publicly but replay it privately, angry yet thrilled to be the center of attention again. Trevor ends this stretch by explaining why Trump is such an easy target for satire, saying his mix of confidence, disorder, and contradiction feels almost unreal, reminding the audience that comedians don't invent Trump's absurdity, they just hold up a mirror that makes it impossible to ignore. He balances humor with insight, pointing out that while Trump is easy to laugh at, the systems that lifted him deserve serious thought, leaving the crowd roaring, not just because the roast was savage, but because it felt uncomfortably true.
Oh my God.
Wow! So amazing! So amazing, I can feel it.
Oh my God.
Hitting me!
Oh my God.
In all different places. So many places! Are there two of us right now?
You're looking at yourself right now.
Trevor slows things down just enough for the room to breathe, not because the jokes are losing their edge, but because he knows the strongest endings land when people are leaning in, explaining that roasting Trump is not about humiliation, but about stripping away the myth that loudness equals leadership and spectacle equals success. He reflects on how the Trump years felt like an endless carnival, thrilling but dangerously unstable, where people laughed, argued, and held on tight, talking about how comedy became a coping tool during that time, helping people process confusion and disbelief without losing their sanity. Trevor admits that while he enjoyed roasting Trump, he also wished there had been fewer reasons to do it, because behind every joke was a real political storm, affecting real lives.
I don't know what it is. Anyway, a what? No, it's called Truth Social, I think. No one cares. Anyway, the point is Trump sent out one of his thingies, I don't know what they're called, and it was like, Trevor Noah was never funny, Jon Stewart was only slightly better, and then like he goes on like a rant and he's just like, these people don't realize if they moved more to the center like me, they would have more followers. Then I'm like, center like you? I'm like, my man, you think—
He circles back to Trump one final time, not with anger, but with calm precision, describing him as a man who built his identity around being untouchable, yet spent years proving how fragile that identity really was, noting that Trump's greatest weakness wasn't his opponents, but his inability to step outside his own ego. Trevor imagines Trump somewhere watching the roast, acting indifferent while quietly stewing, convinced that ignoring criticism will make it disappear, then makes it clear that comedy should sharpen thinking, not dull it. He brings the entire roast full circle by saying Trump may have wanted to be remembered as a giant of history, but will more likely be remembered as a lesson wrapped in chaos, delivering the line with a smirk rather than cruelty, ending with one final clean jab that if Trump ever truly wanted greatness, he should have spent less time demanding applause and more time earning respect.